Wiggle your fingers.
Go ahead, really do it. Watch them move. Now here's the strange part. There is not a single muscle inside any of them. Not one. The fingers you just moved? Hollow of muscle. So what exactly is pulling the strings? Your hand feels like one solid, willing tool. You think move, and it moves. It seems obvious that the muscles doing the work must be right there, in the fingers themselves. They're not. And the truth is far stranger and far more beautiful than that. To find the engines that move your fingers, you have to leave the hand entirely. You have to go up your arm. Try this. Wrap one hand around the other forearm, the meaty part just below the elbow. Now wiggle the fingers of the wrapped hand. Feel that? That rippling, sliding sensation under your fingertips? Those are the muscles. The ones moving your fingers are there, in your forearm, not in your hand at all. These are called the extrinsic muscles. Thick bellies of red, living muscle that sit in the forearm and taper near the wrist into something else entirely. Long, pale, glistening tendons. And those tendons are the secret. They run all the way down, across the wrist, into the palm, fanning out across the back of the hand, and they anchor onto the tiny bones of every single finger. So when a muscle in your forearm contracts, it doesn't move anything around it. It pulls. It tugs a cable, and inches away, a finger closes. Think about what that means. Your hand is a marionette, and the strings run up inside your own arm. There are two sets of these strings. On the palm side, run the flexor tendons. Pull those, and your fingers curl inward, into a fist, into a grip. On the back of the hand, run the extensor tendons. Pull those, and your fingers straighten and splay open. Close, open. Close, open. Every grip, every wave, every word you type, it's all just cables being pulled from a distance.
But this raises a problem.
A serious one. If your fingers are worked by cables anchored way up in your forearm, what stops those cables from pulling straight off the bone every time you clench your fist? What keeps them in line? The answer is one of the most famous pieces of anatomy in your entire body. At your wrist, all the cables heading for your fingers have to pass through a single, narrow gateway, the carpal tunnel. Picture a tunnel in your wrist, bounded by bone on three sides and roofed by a tough, fibrous band stretched across the top. Through that one passage, squeeze 9 separate flexor tendons, and, threaded right alongside them, a single, vital nerve. 9 living cables and 1 nerve packed into a space barely wider than a coin. That fibrous roof is doing critical work. Without it, every time you curled your fingers, the tendons would bowstring, lift up and away from the bone, like the string of an archer's bow. The band pins them down, holds them flush, keeps the whole machine tight and efficient. Elegant, but also fragile, because when that tunnel swells and presses on the nerve inside it, you get the tingling, the numbness, the ache that millions of people know by name. Now, if all the power comes from the forearm, here's the last mystery. How does a hand built on long-distance cables manage something as delicate as threading a needle, or buttoning a shirt, or brushing a crumb off a table? Because raw cables pulled from a foot away are clumsy. They're strong, but they're coarse. So your hand has a second, hidden crew. Buried in the palm itself are the intrinsic muscles, small, short, worm-like muscles called the lumbricals, and the interossei tucked between the bones. They're tiny, but they are right there, at the joints they control, and that closeness is everything. The forearm muscles supply the power. These little palm muscles supply the finesse, the micro-adjustments, the precision, the difference between crushing an egg and cradling one. Coarse strength from upstream, delicate control from within. Two muscle systems, two completely different jobs, working the same 5 fingers in perfect coordination. And all of it is built on an astonishing skeleton. Each hand holds 27 separate bones, which means roughly a quarter of all the bones in your entire body are packed into your 2 hands. 27 bones, dozens of joints, over 100 ligaments and tendons, all so densely woven that the most complex tool in the known world fits at the end of your wrist. So look at your hand again. Really look at it. It isn't a simple thing that grips. It's a remote-controlled machine. Fingers with no engines of their own, run by muscles hiding up your arm, through cables threaded into a tunnel narrower than a coin, fine-tuned by a secret crew in your palm. Every time you pick up a cup, you're firing a system more intricate than anything humans have ever engineered. And you've never had to think about it once. That's the thing about your body. The most extraordinary machine you will ever own has been working flawlessly, invisibly, your whole life. And you're only now seeing how. This is Vivovue. If your own hand can still surprise you, imagine what else is hiding under your skin. Subscribe and come see the living.
Vivovue.